Panther Nation podcast. Yeah. Let's go. Yeah. Oh, cut it. Cut right. And I would like to introduce one of the hottest podcasts in Carolina history. Let's go. Yeah. Talk, let's chat. We got time to chop it up. Talking analytics and fantasy draft. You know what's up. Panther Nation representing, cause this is where we talk that. Talk that's so incredible, make them rewind that talk back. Pause. Talking Panthers football, we discussing it all. On and off the field, you know exactly who to call. You know we the #1 podcast. Competition is non-existent, you need to stop that. Pause. It's an honor to be a Panther fan. Pause. At Bank of America, that is where we ball. Coming to the jungle, then you gonna feel the pause. Winning the trophy for the city, it is the cause. Black, white, and blue, we going Carolina strong. And this is the conversation where everyone belongs. Discussing all the numbers and topics, you know we got it. We the hottest podcast, and we poppin'. Let's go.
Yo, what's good? We back for the third time today. Man. Hey, listen, y'all had a lot of content to digest, not just ours, right? Everybody else is going live today. As is a momentous occasion day. Matt Rhule has finally been fired, and I'm here to let other folks react. You know, you've heard us talk about it all day, but we want to get y'all opinions because it's important that everybody share their opinion about today. And today I had three of my good homies in the back. They're backstage. I got two now. So I got my homie T Wells, and we got Marcus, and Jared was in. I'm sure he'll jump back in when he's ready. But yeah, so before we get into that, Dave, you got any new thoughts? Has anything happened from 3 hours ago in your head?
No.
Still good?
Oh yeah. I think, you know, and we'll probably have more of a discussion point later in the week when we do the game preview against the Rams about what the expectation is going to be, because it's a safe bet that Baker is not going to play. Sam obviously is probably not ready, so PJ Walker will be starting on Sunday. So I think it's just a matter of leveling the expectations for this Sunday. And then over time, we'll start having discussion points on what the expectation is of Steve Wilkes.
Yep.
And what he does for the next 12 games. So we'll see. This is something that I've been kind of pushing, not because I didn't like the guy. I thought he was a nice guy. I just didn't feel like he was qualified for the job. And sometimes, and a lot of times, college coaches aren't. You know, my timeline has had some interesting responses. You know, one big thing I noticed when I was going into the Twitter world is that once Matt Rhule was fired, the responses from the Washington fans were, well, now we need to fire now. Rivera's next. And I had to go ahead and lay it to him like, yeah, bro, I don't think that's going to happen for a little while. I don't see that happening until they sell the team. But for us, this new owner just bought this team, so we're going to be with him for a little while. So in the meantime, we're just going to have to enjoy this ride, and hopefully he picks a competent head coach that has way more NFL experience than the last one that he just hired.
All right, let's bring in some good friends because you've heard us break it down all day. It's time to hear some folks. Shout out to the good folks that we about to bring in. And if you're a Patreon member, check your Patreon, check the Discord. The link is in there. Come through and holler at us. But we got my man Jared, we got Marcus, and we got T Wells. T Wells is his camera pointing up, but he in the building. I saw him earlier. All right, let's go ahead. First of all, welcome to the show. Let's go ahead and go around the room. We got to hear what Jared got to say. Jared, what's good with you, man? I know you. Hey, listen. I know
celebration,
Jared ready, bro. Jared, what's good?
I'm so glad I don't have to do that tracker on Twitter anymore. It was getting so depressing doing that tracker on Twitter.
Oh shit.
Oh,
I feel good about it. I'm glad it should have happened a year sooner. After last season, I didn't see any way that he could progress because it was just the simple things like when to use timeouts, when to have certain players in the game, short yardage situations. Um, us not looking good in the red zone. Like Teddy was right. We did not look good in the red zone majority of the time.
We didn't
It seems
practice. We didn't practice it, Jared.
Cam and Teddy were the most honest after they left. Cam, his last interview, he was pretty honest about what it was like to to be a player under Rhule. It just seemed like we did not practice the situations that the NFL you're supposed to thrive on. Third down, red zone situations, 2 minute drill. It's just we're not good at those things.
Yeah, man. And you know what's crazy is that you talk about what it's like playing under Matt Rule. Fam, we're starting to see stories about what it's like to work under Matt Rule from like the social media
Damn.
team.
Yep.
Yeah, like the staff. Like we're starting to hear a lot of different wild stuff. Like this man was tripping. Like he was tripping.
No, he was
like
a micro. He
literally
was a no, but he was a certifiable micromanager. That's what he
serial
was.
micromanager. Yeah, for sure.
But did y'all see Smitty's podcast?
Yes, I did see that.
He talked a lot about what it's like to be a college coach and what you actually have under your belt as a college coach. You're over boosters, you're over who comes in the building, you're over what time people are supposed to come in, who can be around the players. But that stuff, you don't have to worry about that once you get to the NFL. You don't have to worry about boosters. You don't have to worry about recruiting. You don't have to worry about the creative team and sponsors and anything like that. It seems like he tried to still hold on to all of that control once he got here. It's not necessary. Personnel and then the X's and O's, I can understand that. That's in your contract. But social media team, I don't understand where that came from.
It was pretty.
Well, the other
apparent,
thing that he
too.
talked about was about Cam's run there and how Rule threw Cam under the bus,
Yep.
saying he ain't learned the playbook yet. And Smitty was like, he just got here. He ain't have no training camp.
Yep.
How you expect him to learn the training? Like you put him in the 2-minute drill, you expect him to know the playbook?
Yep.
So, things like that. He just didn't get it, man. And those are the things like and what you just mentioned about the college coaches is like, yo, like that's might be the biggest reason because when you're a college coach, and we talk about this all the time in HBCU spaces, when you're the college coach, you are the most famous guy on that yard. I don't know who the hell runs Alabama, the University of Alabama, but I know that Nick Saban is the football coach of Alabama.
Yep.
So when you come into the NFL, you're the head coach. You're the face, but you ain't the big dog, so to speak. I mean, you just literally the face, and that's it. But you're not the big dog in the house.
State, you can run the whole state as a college football coach.
You sure can. I say it all the time. If Nick Saban comes up and tells the University of Alabama, I need fighter jets so I can make Alabama better, he's getting fighter jets tomorrow. They will show up.
Yeah, shout out to Marcus. Marcus, what you think, bro? Get in on this whole Matt Rule firing. Dave, you got to shut up and let the people talk, man. Go ahead, Marcus.
You meet this chicken, so you ain't got to worry about me for a couple minutes.
Well, I had a thought and a question. I thought that's because I was listening to the Tepper press conference, and as bad as that was, it reminded me a lot of Jay Richardson after he fired Dom Capers. There was a lot of similarities between Don Capers and Matt Rule when I sat down and thought about it. When Jay Richardson first came in the league, he wanted Capers so bad that he tampered in order to get him, which kind of thought with Tepper, he wanted Rule so bad he basically blew up the pay structure to get him. Both Tepper and Richardson thought when they first came in the league they could just outspend everyone. When Richardson came in, he basically tried to be brought in all the premier free agents, spend all the money he could. Money was no object, similar to Tepper. And the big problem that both of them ran into, both Capers and Rule, once they both got power, with Capers' case, they gave him personnel decisions. Things with the crap. He brought in a whole bunch of free agents that he was familiar with and comfortable with, messed up, and that was essentially doomed him and the team and set the team back. And I'm thinking, at least my question is, after Capers got fired, Seifert, they brought in Seifert. They essentially had to give him the bag along with control in order to bring him in. And I'm wondering what's the route going forward for the next coach, assuming it's not going to be Wilkes. They gave Rhule a bag with $63 million. What I mean, the next guy is not going to come in for less than that in order to fix the mess he made.
Honestly, I could care less about how much the coach is getting paid. I mean, I get it. That's just my personal. As long as it doesn't count towards the cap, I could care less. You back the Brinks up truck to do what you got to do. As long as you're not affecting the cap, I could care less. It's to me, it's about getting the right guy. And if you got to overspend for the right guy, then by all means, do what you got to do. But I hear you. I mean, your point is very valid. I mean, you talk about the parallels. And I think that's part of, being a new owner. I mean, these guys just think that, and he's very, I mean, you could tell like the dude he's a jerk. Like Tepper you could tell during his press conference, the dude just think he's like smarter than everybody. Like he just thinks he can just do things and whatever he does, it just works. And that's just not the case. So he was very much on his high horse when he got here. And so, but in regards to your point, I don't care. Like, I don't care what it costs. As long as it's the right guy, make it happen. And I don't know who it's going to be. Like, I hope he, based off of his press conference, it appears that he wants to say that he's learned from his mistakes, but he doesn't want to own up to it. Like, he was like, yeah, they asked him about the college coach thing, and he kind of like, he didn't say he wasn't going to get another college coach, but he kind of, you can't bring another college coach in here. Like,
he admitted that he was wrong. It was just hard for them to do.
He did. He tried. Yeah, he tried to admit, but he wasn't like really like forthright with it. Like, he definitely has a hard time admitting when he's wrong.
He said what he had to say in order to get the media.
Exactly. And it was very short. He was very short.
He pretty much said, based on the data, college coach, those type of coaches tend to struggle versus, but it makes more sense to get an NFL coach. And I'm like, so that tells me that he probably going to hire an NFL coach. And besides, P&P is going to be canceled if he hires another college coach. Rashad said he's leaving.
Patriot Nation podcast.
I'm telling you,
we ain't got to change the letters. All we got to do is change the colors, huh?
I'm telling y'all right now.
Where we going, Shad?
I don't know. I gotta do my scout, and Bill's looking nice. What do nice quarterbacks play? That's where I might need to take my talents to somewhere else. If he brings another college coach, I'm out. Y'all think I'm playing? I'm out, bro. I'd swap all this shit out. I'd swap everything out. I'm not playing with that dude, man. I ain't got time.
We can change it to an HBCU podcast or FCS podcast. Some other shit.
I'm not doing it. Won't be Panthers. I'm out, yo. This shit is too much, man. I'm tired of going to the games every week and complaining, and we complain all the time. It gets old, man. We don't want to get up here and say the same shit all the time. I'm tired.
I felt bad for you. It was like you paid to go to that, and I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, it's bad. Every week, I'm at every game. It's tough. But T Wells, what you got, man? What you got, bro? First of all, what you sipping on? Because I'm about to join you. It's a celebration.
Hey,
it's a celebration, y'all.
That's why I said Christmas came early, man. I was geared to start putting my Panther stuff away, man, and I got that news today, and I was happy, man. I ain't smiled this hard since I got married, so I'm just happy, man. But now I'm on some Elijah Craig tonight, man. Some small batch Elijah Craig, just straight up, nothing too crazy, man. First I want to apologize for my tardiness. I was on, but I kind of stepped away. So I kind of missed the initial question of like what we're actually talking about.
Just what how you feel about the firing of Matt Rhule? Like, what's your thought? What was your initial thoughts? And then if you watch David Tepper's press conference, like what do you feel? How you feel about it?
I never want to root for anybody to lose their job first and foremost, but at the same time, this needed to happen. I'm glad that it did happen. And it was time, man. I mean, when you start having some of the people like Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharp and all the guys on mainstream media bringing up that we're 1-27 every time, 17 points or more, or now overall his record was 11-27. Like, that stuff get embarrassing. And granted, I'm in Maryland, so I'm like the only Carolina Panthers fan that I know of in the area of Maryland. So, when I wear my stuff, everybody said, "Oh yeah, y'all the team that has the coach that don't know the coach." So it's kind of really embarrassing to show my face sometimes. But I just feel that we should be moving in the right direction. I'm kind of really iffy to see how things are going to go this week and going towards next week when they're talking about PJ Walker's supposed to be starting. But I feel that those guys in the locker room are going to all rally together and like play for Wilkes, man. Hometown native. He's from the crib, so everybody kind of knows what he brings to the Carolina culture, man, and that's what we need in regards to that. And as far as with Tepper, man, look, man, if you are worth $1 billion, man, of course you're gonna have time to admit that you're wrong, because you think you know everything. You feel me? So I wasn't expecting him to come up there and say, "Yeah, guys, I'm the wrong guy," but nah, he came out there and tried his best not to crack a smile at all. So I caught some of it, and after that, I kind of turned off because I can't stand the way he talks, man, and it kind of really gets on my nerves. So I'm just glad that Matt Rhule got out, and then he can go back to his owner booth. So
yeah. Hey, listen, with Tep, man, it's so easy, bro. It's so easy just to come out and say, you know what, man, I fucked up. Like I messed up. I'm gonna fix it. It's so easy to do that, bro.
It's not.
It's so
not
easy
when you
to
work.
do it.
Not when you.
It
not
is
when you,
easy.
If you're worth billions
It's
of
easy.
dollars.
It's easy.
I can't relate. I'm not worth that many billions of dollars.
It's easy to. It's always easy to admit a mistake.
We want him.
It is.
We want him to come out and admit to it. But that man's made his money off the stock trade, things like that. So he already knows that whatever he do is going to be right because he's a gambler. You know what I'm saying? So like he thought he'd gamble on bringing in a college coach that only won a Peach Bowl or Duke's Mayo Bowl and think that he was going to come in here and be a all-time leader winning coach in the NFL, which is not going to happen. So it's going to take him a while to eat some of that humble pie. And I hope that
T Wells went out for a second. Not sure what's
lost
popping.
him.
No, hey Noli, what's good with you, man? Oh, T Wells, T Wells, you dropped out for a second. Go ahead, Noli.
Oh, my bad, I'm back.
Not much. How are y'all doing?
We're chilling, man.
The news is exciting, but honestly, until I see who we hire next, I can't get too excited. I don't want to get my hopes up. I need to hire Dan Quinn. So excited, obviously, but yeah, I feel like it would have hit different if it happened at the end of last season. So part of me is skeptical that they're just going to trot out PJ Walker for the rest of the season or even Baker. If that's the case, then that lets me know that then they're just seriously considering tanking. But I got to see who the next hire is. The only thing I liked about that Tepper press conference is when someone asked him about personnel control. And he said, going forward, I should have the GM and the coach should have less. He said the GM and the coaches should be a balance, I guess, with personnel. Other than that, I hated the entire press conference. The man had no accountability. He tried to pretend like he brought music to North Carolina. I'm like, North Carolina is known for music, bro. Like, you ain't put us on the map. So when someone asked,
it's funny it was funny because when he said that shit about the music, I said, well, how many shows did Bank of America Stadium have? And they did have like a 6-year gap between 2015 and 2021, but they used to have concerts in that stadium all the time.
It seemed like the Spectrum Center had more concerts than Bank of America.
But at the same time, go ahead, Noli.
The problem to me was the deflection because the question was worded, hey, you had all these team presidents, you had all these failures, everything. Yeah. And then he immediately just pearl clutched and said, well, I brought this. Not, you're right. We need more stability. He brings up music, which has nothing to do with wins and losses. Who cares?
Yeah. But, not only that, he deflected too. Like he was like, "Can you repeat the question?" Nah, motherfucker, you heard what he said. You heard what he said. Don't try. Let me try to make something up. You heard what that man said.
The thing that was interesting when he answered the way that he did when he got that question was this. It showed me that football, and we always questioned it on this show anyway. Football ain't his top priority.
No,
it's not. It's not his top priority. Like the way he answered that question told me that football is not his top priority. His top priority was building the city. Like he thought that he could come in here and do all these things, even though while he still answered the question the way that he did, he deflected the hell out of it when they asked him about the $800 million project that's failing down in Rock Hill. He deflected that shit like a damn tennis ball. So like from that standpoint, yes, he's thinking about the growth of downtown and uptown. He ain't thinking about the football team. He mentioned the fact that he brought the soccer team here before bringing up the football team aspect. He avoided everything about that because he knew he had nothing to say because it has been an abject failure since he's taken it over. He hasn't had a winning season since he's been the owner.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing, like the accountability aspect. But and I'll end it with this: like people don't realize how much of an ego this man has. When I work in Rock Hill, and so when they were doing the initial plans for the stadium, I mean the facility, my principal and like a couple of big leaders in Rock Hill would do meetings with this guy, and I don't know if I told you the story, but he had a falling out basically with one of his business partners back in Pittsburgh, and to get back at that guy, he bought like a strip of land that was owned on a famous block in a small city where that partner of his had family businesses built up. And, he kept asking the guy, how much for it? How much for it? He was like, no, I'm not going to do it. And eventually the guy budged because he gave him an offer that he couldn't refuse. And then once he bought it, he tore down all the businesses, all the buildings, 50 years worth of businesses, and built a parking deck and sold it back to the cities for pennies just to get back at the guy. Like that tells you the mentality of these people. So, like this is a crazy story.
Or about when he bought his old boss's house just to destroy it.
Yeah, exactly. So it doesn't shock me that he didn't take accountability. But I guess there'll be more news coming up, and we'll see what the team has planned. But yeah, to me, I want to know basically, and I promise it'll be last thing. You guys remembered how for head coaches we only interviewed 4 guys, but when it came to general managers, we interviewed like 11 or 12 guys. All I ask is that they interview as many people as possible, and hopefully we'll go from there. But yeah, until I see who we hire next, I can't get super excited because what's to say he's not going to make another bad hire. So that's kind of where I'm at.
So let's have a discussion about some of these hires because I know you mentioned that you didn't want Dan Quinn, so I want to bring that to the table for everybody. So, what are your thoughts of? We didn't even mention Dan Quinn. We mentioned Dan Quinn a little bit during the show earlier today, but what are y'all's thoughts on if they make the decision to hire Dan Quinn? It is a legitimate scenario because of where the GM came from. The GM came from Seattle, so Dan Quinn getting a second opportunity is a very, very possibility at this rate.
So just before we get into Dan Quinn, I just want to say I hope Tepper backs the hell all the way out of any kind of conversation with the head coach hire. I think it needs to be all on Scott Fitter or whoever he deems as the GM. Hire GM first and then let the GM make the hire. You may have a 5% input on the decision. He needs to back up. He can't be flying out to Houston or wherever he picked up Baylor or picked up your boy from. He can't do that. He's got to back up. And that's a part of the ego thing. That's a part of admitting that you were wrong. Like that's a part of the process. He's got to back out. He cannot be meddling in this. He needs to let the guys do the job. So no matter if it's Dan Quinn or not, we can get back to Dan Quinn. But I just want to make that point that Tepper need to back the hell up. And he need to let dudes do their jobs. But Dan Quinn, I'm cool. I don't know. Based on the conversation that he was saying, I don't think so. I think it's going to be, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm worried about Fitterer's career path at this rate with us because he really was not super committal to Fitterer after this year, the way he answered those questions, man. And I don't know if that's fair to Fitterer. I know it's not fair to Fitterer. No matter how you feel about how he's making moves, I mean, you can't expect that man to be able to do all that, especially considering that Rhule had final say in his contract. So when you take all those things into account, I mean, Fitterer really hasn't had a fair shake from that aspect.
I don't think Quinn is that bad compared to what we have now. He's obviously want somebody better, but keep in mind throughout the organization's history, we've always had defensive guys because primarily Jerry Richardson thought that they were problem solvers, and he said he would never hire an offensive guy.
That ain't the defensive guy I want.
Nope.
I'll take somebody else.
Sure.
If it's gonna be a defensive guy, it can't be. I'm cool on Quinn.
Like
We've
aim
seen
high,
him in the South. Go ahead, Jared.
like aim high on your next hire. If you're gonna go after a defensive guy, at least get somebody that you feel like has a lot of potential. Like Dan Quinn, we've seen what he can do. It ain't that much. Like I can't even remember what his record was. He was in Atlanta. I think he had started off with 2 winning seasons, and then it was down after that. I'm good on Dan Quinn, honestly.
I have to disagree, man. I'm not with Dan Quinn, man. I'd rather just go get the cat from the D coordinator from 49ers or the defense coordinator from the Rams or even Brian Leftwich. I feel that having someone that can relate to the players at their age, because I mean, like I think we said one of the youngest rosters in the NFL. Note taking that Dan Quinn, I don't really know his history like that, but I just rather just like give it to a guy. If Wilkes doesn't get it, give it to a guy that can come in here fresh with his own ideas. With young, them cats can rally around him. Then at least this person has a history of dealing with like young players. Because that's kind of how the league is going to now. Kind of getting some of the older vets out and kind of bringing in new talent, new young talent. So that's my take on that. I'm not a really this with Dan Quinn. I just it don't sit right with me. I don't like if that's the case. I think we can bring in somebody like older. I just want somebody to come in like young, fresh, vibrant, ready to go, bunch of energy. And I mean who to say Dan Quinn can't do that? But just based on me watching Dan Quinn and things like that, I feel that some of the other guys can do that as well.
Well, here's the thing about Dan Quinn, man. He made it to he did lead the Falcons to a Super Bowl. Somehow got Coach Matt Ryan up to MVP. But I think a lot of folks give Kyle Shanahan that credit more than anybody else from that aspect. But he was able to get a freaking good offensive coordinator to run the damn offense. You know what I'm saying? So, like from my opinion, if you ask me my choice, I wouldn't have Dan Quinn at the top of the list. But I don't think I'll be angry if we hire Dan Quinn, considering what the hell we just had. I mean, he did the worst record that Dan Quinn's ever had was 7-9. He got fired after 7-9 season.
Well, he was 0-5. He started out 0-5 in that season, so he got fired after going 0-5. But you're right though. You're right. I think Dan Quinn isn't the worst thing we could do. But I don't think he is the step up that we need. I think he's just like he's like, all right. I mean, he's just a guy that I think could get you there. Like he could get you do just enough to make you mad. Like we'll be like 8, 9. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. He'll do just enough to make you mad, and then we sitting back. I think we need to step back and get somebody younger. Like get the younger, energetic, somebody that can be here for a long time that you can grow into. I feel like we got to stop. No, not just young. Matt Rhule was also a college coach too, and we know that shit didn't work. So it's got to be context to it, right? So, but yeah, I think there's some budding stars out there you got to take a look at. You know what I'm saying? And for me, and again, just me personally, I prefer the young offensive mind because the offensive mind is going to get plucked. Just like Shanahan got plucked from Atlanta. You brought up Shanahan, he got plucked because that's what happens when you have a good offensive guy. They're gone. Defensive guys, they tend to hang around a little bit. Offensive guys, if you got a good one, they're gone ASAP. So give me the offensive guys, my head coach.
And Shanahan's been to a Super Bowl since he's left.
Yep. And I'm probably about 70-30 on an offensive guy. It's not completely out the realm of possibilities for me to like a defensive guy. I just prefer the offensive guy.
Defensive guys win championships.
They do. They do.
Have we ever had one of the head coach or intern coaches for the Panthers that have a offensive background, or everybody's straight defensive background?
We've never had an offensive head coach, even in an interim status.
We've never had an offensive head coach. Else we never done. We never won a Super Bowl. So let's try to do something.
We've been to two.
Did we win them?
Nah. We lost to Peyton Manning when Peyton Manning couldn't throw the ball 30 yards down the field.
But they had one of the greatest. But guess what they had? They had one of the greatest defenses of all time.
The defense was amazing, man.
Wade Phillips is a phenomenal defensive coordinator, not a good head coach.
Yeah.
So I think
I think we're gonna get Brian Leftwich, man, because I think how Jacksonville kind of screwed him over, and got a point to prove. I like a young coach with a chip on the shoulder, man. Like, something to prove, man. Come in and like let everybody know that I should have already had a job by now. And I think this is what this organization needs, man. I mean, come on in, and I mean, and look, man, these past 3 years, man, it was rebuilding every year. Yes, I want to come in. I want somebody to come in just vibrant, ready to go right now, and just take off, man. But it's gonna be tough because, like you said, Charles, is Tepper gonna have 97% of the say who come in, or he's gonna like Fit to do his job?
Me too.
Does Fit, does Fit gonna go with his guys that he know and trusts from his Seattle days, or it's gonna be just like, hey, you come in and you interview well, and I got you, because Brian Flores can come in and do what he need to do. But at the same time, is he gonna come in and wow everybody? We don't know. We only just give our opinions out and kind of just go from there. So.
We were going to hire McDaniels before we got Rhule, so maybe we would go offensive. But do you think we're going to have to tear this down to the studs no matter what we do?
I think we're young enough to not have to tear it down completely. I feel that getting rid of trading away. Sorry to say it, like CMC. Some guys like that just to get some draft capital, man, because we ain't got no picks, man. Jesus Christ, we ain't got no picks.
We only got no picks this year. We're fine after next year. It all depends on how you want to look at this.
But Dave, that's a problem. Like, when you're winning 15 games in 3 years, there's no reason for you to go into any year with 4 picks.
That's on Fitterer then, bro.
That's my main problem with Fitterer. His trades have not panned out whatsoever. I can't name a trade that has worked out for the long run for us right now. CJ Henderson looks iffy. He traded for Gilmore. He only played 8 games, then he was gone.
If he was a favor, bro, CJ
looks bad. And we sent a third over to Jacksonville in that trade.
And that's my guy.
Damn, that trade hasn't panned out. Baker has a conditional where it could be. Is it playing time that's in there? If he plays a certain games,
I think it's what? I think it's
over 50%. So we leave him on the bench. If he got hurt, if we leave him on the bench, we ain't got to pay it.
See, I think go ahead and bench him so that pick doesn't turn into a fourth. It's just his trades have not panned out whatsoever.
He's right, but my problem with that is, though, it's at the direction of who, right? Is who's really, because at the end of the day, we won't know now that Matt Rhule is gone. He's the one providing the direction? So is he doing it at the behest of a Matt Rhule, or is he working within his own framework? So that's the question I have before I pile on the hate for Scott Fitterer. I need to understand that dynamic, because Matt Rhule has final say.
I think Fitterer was pulled in 2 directions, because if you look at some of the moves, we were never really fully committed either to a rebuild or it was always win now. So if you think what happened, the Cam signing, what was their excuse? Oh, we think we have an elite defense and Sam Darnold's playing bad. If we can just get a quarterback playoff push. They never fully committed to the rebuild like we talked about. It was always half-assed. So when Fitterer got here, in my opinion, he was getting pulled in 2 directions. You had a college coach who had final say. So you were just a yes man, which I agree with Jared. He said it back. I don't want that. But that's how he had. And then you had this owner who wanted to win now when you should have. Again, we talk about Teddy. We never fully committed. And that's the issue in my opinion. And I'm fine with giving Fitterer smoke. Again, I give him more of a pass than others, but I get those who don't want to give him a pass because his name's on it. So fair is fair. But again, yeah, he's, to me, getting pulled in different directions, and you just got to let him hire a coach and tie that coach to the hip with Fitterer. But I guess, what do you guys think? Because one thing I did like, I guess, about the press conference was he talked about culture of winning. We have a culture of losing since Tepper has come in here.
He couldn't tell you what the culture was.
Exactly. And I agree with that. Getting in a coach, we need a culture of winning, because some of these players, all they know is losing. And it's just festering around for so many years. And that's something that has to change. But yeah, that's not to get off topic, but yeah, that's pretty much what I think with Fitterer, just getting pulled in multiple directions.
So I guess we have to take Raheem Morris off the list of a potential coaching candidate. If that's the case, because he has a losing record as a head coach. Even though how he got the job was kind of weird. But
Where did he coach at previously?
He
Tampa.
was the head coach. He was the head coach of Tampa Bay. He took over when John Gruden got fired in Tampa. So he was like he had a 10-6. He had one season where he had a 10-6 record, but they missed the playoffs. That was only good enough for third place in that division at the time, because we were good, and I think it was the Saints. Yeah, us and the Saints both made the playoffs that year. So the Bucs were third at 10-6. So he got fired after 3 years, and then he was the interim coach for Atlanta. After they fired Dan Quinn. So he has his head coaching record is better than Matt Rhule's, but he's already bat 300 in the coaching in the wins game.
Why the brothers always got to do the mop up duty? This is ridiculous.
That's what happened, dude. Look, but like Sheena talked about how the statistic about African American head coaches being at the interim spot and not getting these opportunities after the fact. Raheem Morris was in that spot in Atlanta. Freaking Perry Sewell was in that spot. Sewell's in the spot with us, and now Steve Wilkes.
And don't forget, Wilkes still has that suit against the NFL too.
Sure does.
Yep. So real quick,
the traditional coach.
Real quick, I threw a poll up for offensive head coaches, and we'll do one for defense too. I can only have four choices in there, so that's all I got. So I'll put in one for offense, one for defense, and then we'll merge the two, take the top from each one, and then we'll pick a head coach. So take a look at the offensive guys between Byron Leftwich, Ken Dorsey, Bieniemy, and my man, the offensive coordinator from the Eagles, Shane Stashin. I can't remember his name.
Listen,
anyway.
Mahomes got beef with Bieniemy right now.
He does. So they've had a little spat.
Yeah, I'm off the Bieniemy train, man. Out of those four, give me Leftwich.
You're off the train because of that?
I'm off the train because of that, and I'm off the train because I question why he hasn't gotten an opportunity. And this is tough, man. Like I think Bieniemy's gotten a raw deal, but I wonder why nobody hired him. Like I think about, but I'm thinking about Houston. You know what I'm saying? Why didn't the Texans hire him?
Did he even interview for Houston?
That's my point. Like, why didn't he even get an interview? Why would
he want to go to Houston?
That's a good point.
He said he wants to be a head coach.
But I mean, you want to be a head coach in a situation you can thrive in. You don't want to go into something like look at the that are taken up.
But there aren't too many thriving and even Sean
David
Payton said
Culley,
it today.
Lovey might not make it past this season,
bro.
We know why that was going to happen because they want McCown to be the head coach.
Bieniemy coming from the Kansas City Chiefs. Why would you take that job if you see two black head coaches in that position already?
Bingo. And have you heard of Jack Easterberry? I mean, he doesn't get talked about enough. That man. Anyway.
Here's my thing about Bieniemy, man. I feel that you have one of the top you have the top quarterback in the NFL, and like I never really heard Mahomes kind of really bounce for him to kind of move on to the next level of being a head coach. I've never really kind of said things like, "Hey, man, like I don't know what's going on." Like offense moves well with being called a player, yada yada, and even sometimes Andy Reid haven't really kind of came out and kind of bit back behind him. So I think it is some underlying issues. The reason why he's not a head coach right now. I mean, because you got to think about it, like if I want to be a head coach and one of the only options is Houston, I may need to take it, man, or just stay back and kind of be the play calling boy. I mean, there's not a lot of options. Green Bay's not coming open. All these top teams not coming open. So the teams you're gonna have is gonna be the Jacksonville's, the Texans, the teams that they lose every year. So you gotta take those jobs unless you're gonna sit and wait. But you sit and wait, somebody else is gonna come and be an offensive coordinator, and then just to take lead by storm. Then you know how we all know somebody else gonna swoop right on in and take that job as you still being the coordinator. So that's why they have those compensation picks in place.
You got to consider too, Jared, right? Like if you talk about somebody like the Rams, When McVay took that job, the Rams were terrible. They weren't a good team. So, sometimes you're not going to necessarily be in the best situation. A lot of the times, a lot of these head coaches aren't.
I don't think the Rams were terrible. I think Jeff Fisher was terrible because they made the playoffs as head coach. He had Jared Goff looking like he should have been in the XFL, and then Sean McVay comes in, and he looks competent, and they make the playoffs that year.
Yeah.
But Leftwich, he wants his own GM, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think
he
wants to pick his own GM. So that means Fitterer's gone.
Which is smart. That's smart, bro. Like you're not about to handicap me, bro. The Byron Leftwich, he knows what the hell he was doing. It makes all the sense in the world for him to decline that. Yo, you're not about to handicap me with this guy I don't even know. You're not doing that. That was smart as hell by Leftwich. And he should keep that same energy, especially if the Panthers come calling. Keep that same energy, dog. Don't get paired with some bum.
You know what that means? Fitterer's out of here if that's the case, bro.
Could be, but maybe he'll get along with Fitterer. Maybe he just didn't like who the hell the GM was. I don't know where the opportunity.
Yeah, that's the dude that was from. Yeah, that
didn't want to get rid of Trent
Baalke.
Yeah,
Trent Baalke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
he's the same guy that ran out Jim Harbaugh in San Fran.
So yeah, man. So the head coach poll is real close. We got 153 votes. Hit that vote because it's real tight. Byron Leftwich and Ken Dorsey are neck and neck. Byron Leftwich at 35%, Ken Dorsey at 34%. Everybody else it's on the YouTube poll.
All right, hold on. Let me go ahead and
I was out there, man. I was out there.
Whenever I see Ken Dorsey, I just can't get him slamming his papers and his headset down. That's all I can think of when I see him now.
That's the energy we need, bro. I want to see somebody slam some shit.
Fam, when I saw that shit, and I would be pissed too, because that was poor clock management. Once again, I think we've seen that before.
Can we all agree that after this live that we don't bring up the name Matt or last name Rhule again? Because every time I hear the name, I start having nightmares like I want to eat or something, man. Like Jesus Christ. like can we go ahead and put it to rest right now? David Shaw, can you please go ahead and put it to rest right now that after today or after Sunday, let's not bring up that name. That name Matt, last name Rhule. Because it's like Candyman. You say it 3 times, he come in the mirror, man. So I don't want that nightmare.
Don't worry, man. You're gonna hear his name anyway, because he's gonna get a college job in a couple weeks. So you ain't gotta worry too much about that aspect. He is absolutely about to be a college head coach. I mean,
I'll try to put him in Dwayne Jarrett territory.
But no, but he's straight though, because he giving $40 million off the top. He walking away. He probably gonna rest for about a couple months, and nobody can hear his name. And he gonna pop up being the head coach for like Arizona State, which they did my boy Herm Edwards wrong, but that's another story though. But
yeah,
he was short of that.
My man got fired. My man got fired at the end of the game on the field, and then they found out later that they were folks within the organization that was setting that man up to fail. Setting that man up to fail because they didn't want him there.
What do you think we do at quarterback? I have a hard time again believing if Baker's out for a month that they're going to trot out Jacob Eason or PJ Walker if they're seriously thinking about winning.
I don't think they have too much of a choice, honestly.
I think we're going to see Sam within the next couple of weeks. I think PJ is going to be starting until Sam's ready. That's my opinion. I think what will happen is. Go ahead, Rashad.
I was gonna say I agree with you. I agree that that Sam's gonna be back sooner rather than later, and I really believe that Sam gives us a better opportunity to win than Baker did.
Yeah, I think he'll look better than Baker with this offensive line and CMC being back.
How do you know?
Because you see what Sam did for clean pockets. So as many interceptions as he threw from clean pockets.
Bro, I don't know, man.
Without CMC.
True.
I don't know. I need to see it.
Dude, I need to see like Sam Darnold with CMC.
Better than Baker.
Sam Darnold with CMC with that terrible ass offensive line. One of the most efficient quarterbacks in the NFL. Go back and look at the numbers.
Oh, they
Go back
neck
and
and
look at the
neck
numbers.
now. 36 and 36. Y'all not breaking the ties, man. Somebody got to break the tie, dog. Leftwich had pulled away for a little bit. I thought it was over. Now they tied.
It's Ken Dorsey and Leftwich.
Ken Dorsey and Leftwich tied. And I like both of those guys.
I like both options.
I do like both options.
I wouldn't be mad at Ken Dorsey. I wouldn't be mad at Ken Dorsey.
Wasn't Ken Dorsey the quarterback's coach when Cam won MVP?
He was.
Yeah, yes.
He knows the landscape. And you want to talk about a connection, Tep did say, he likes Wilkes because he knows the people in the building. Ken Dorsey knows people in the building too. Just saying.
Factually.
I think Dave Morgan gives us a little bit of a leeway towards Ken Dorsey, honestly.
So question. So I mean, I know we talk about a coach with the Panthers, and of course we would love to have Dorsey or hopefully keep Wilson or somebody that actually knows the culture of Carolina. But Fit only knows the culture of Carolina for like 2 years or some change. So do you think that he values that culture of the Carolina, or it's like he could bring somebody else in that he trusts and believes that's gonna save his ass at the end of the day?
It may not be his choice.
I don't think he's around.
I don't think most of those are an issue.
Yeah, I don't think Tepper wants to rebuild. Not yet.
Hell, we rebuilt for 3 years with Matt Rhule. So
like burn it
I'm
down.
sorry,
I don't think he's trying to do that yet, man. Like way he was talking about the D and special teams today.
Bingo.
Man.
Same thing Richardson did.
I don't believe nothing that Tepper say right now, man. Until I don't know, bro.
But
98 Richardson just kept throwing money at free agents, bringing in Reggie White and Eric Swan and all those guys because he didn't want to rebuild. It wasn't until Seifert came around.
But in the press conference today, granted, he can say one thing and do another. He talked about how there are good pieces. He talked about the O-line improving. So I don't think he's looking to do a complete rebuild.
Yeah, I agree.
So that, thankfully, I don't want to.
Yeah, I don't think a complete rebuild is necessary, but I get it because you have to look at it. You have to look at the entire picture. Like, yeah, the personnel is cool, but then you look at the contracts and how we're over the cap, which obviously can be fixed pretty easily. But you have to take into account where we stand with the cap, because you got to start. At the end of the day, you got to start nailing these draft picks. That's really what it boils down to. And I think we need more draft picks to really make the rebuild work. If you're gonna rebuild, you gotta knock out these draft picks, man. You gotta hit the draft picks out the park, and we haven't done that.
Rhule's first year went all defense, and how has that panned out?
Yep, and sometimes we don't even play the draft picks. But looking at the cap next year on Spotrac, if you cut Shaq and Robbie, I think you save a combined $24 million in cap space. Because the dead cap for Shaq and Robbie, one of them is 13 mil, one of them is 11 mil, and their cap hits like 24 each. So those two aren't going to be on the books next year. I can tell you they're probably going to get cut if they're traded.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. It's a lot of questions.
Cal, just an FYI, bro. I keep muting you because the feedback is coming back and forth with the audio when you talk. That's why I keep muting you. So if you got something to say, my brother, go for it.
Go ahead, Kyle.
Oh, my bad, bro. I didn't know it was that good. I'm sorry. I just think when we go to play LA, I think our team's going to look completely different, especially on the defensive side of the ball. I think that 3-3-5 stuff's gone.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
I think we're really going to stack that box now, man, and we're going to see a NFL-style defense, and it's going to be interesting to see what it looks like, man. I'm excited.
No, I agree. Great point about the 3-3-5.
It's going to be a lot of blitzing.
That's what I was about to say. That's not going to work.
We better hope J.C. Hornet. We better hope J.C. Hornet's healthy, bro.
Hey, let me tell you something, man.
Listen like something delicious.
I never forget when Wilkes took over defensive coordinator, bro. Man, we was blitz. Yo, we was like one of the most blitzing team. Yo, we was sending the heat all the time.
It
We
was
was
like
getting
80.
beat.
It was like an 80-20
Yo,
split. It was
yo,
ridiculous.
we was sending the
It
heat.
was an 80-20
Hey,
split.
Yo, we was
It
sending the
didn't.
heat.
Will,
And when we
Will
did
said,
it against
"Fuck it."
Drew Brees, we got
Will said,
killed
"Fuck, let's
too.
go."
Yo, he said, "No, we fucking. We just doing. Yo, we just sending the blitz." Hey, and
Fuck
I listen from a team that's not getting the sacks. We sit up here and complain about how we're almost there. I get it. We gonna have to maybe dial it back a little bit. But yo, homie, the
My
homie
man,
Wilkes is a blitz machine, man.
Wilkes
He's a
be
blitz
out here.
machine, B.
Yo, Wilkes be out here
Alright.
like, what are we gonna do? Blitz. What we gonna do next play? Blitz. What we gonna do next play? Two
See, the
blitz.
issue,
All
the issue
blitz.
back then was
Everybody coming out.
like
everybody
we
going
too
after
much off
quarterback.
man back then because we had Bradbury off man, we had Dante off man with J.C. Horn. I think we could do a whole lot better as far as the blitz goes. But our secondary is banged up right now. We have
They are
Xavier
banged up.
out. We got Chen out. We don't know if JC is going to be back. So in this game, I might not blitz as much because Cooper Kupp will eat you up. But
CJ
Prepare
Henderson.
yourself.
Fam, I cannot wait. I cannot wait when we out here putting the safety out to go blitz and CJ Henderson is getting destroyed.
Nah, he just gonna PI. It's all. He won't give up the. Hey, listen, he ain't gonna let the catch be made. He just gonna get the PI. He good for a good PI.
I wonder
Time
who'll
you can
be
make
on
a
that
tackle.
front line now. I wonder who'll start, besides Brian and Derek. I wonder if McCall will be in there more.
I tell you what,
we see McCall. He been getting some play time.
where is
I tell you
Barno? Is Barno hurt?
He had on pads last time. When I saw him at the game, he had on pads.
He must not be getting a high snap count whatsoever because
I can check
don't
it
worry
real quick.
about it. It's gonna change now. Now watch. All those guys that had those little nagging injuries, everybody gonna be healthy to go on Sunday because Rhule gone.
Man, I'd love to see Brandon Smith in there, man. I'd love to see him.
How
because
many of
Marty
these?
Barno and Brandon Smith are the two guys I really want to see.
Yes, same.
Facts.
How many of these rule?
And now's the time to play him.
How many of these rule position coaches do you think are going to stay? Because a big thing I've been saying for a while is some of the players on the roster, not including like Burns, DJ. I feel like a lot of the players are being held back because it's not just Matt Rhule; it's the position coaches he hired and how they're not making our players better. They're stunting their development. You see it oftentimes when bad coaches get fired, a new regime comes in, and all of a sudden this player starts balling because he's actually getting coached properly. I've always held to believe Burns and DJ have been held back all these years. Like, who do you think? Like, it kind of goes into that point. Who do you think is going to stay? Do you think Evan Cooper is going to stay? Like, do you think they're just going to keep some of these rule latches?
Just keeping the black ones. How was Burns held back?
Scheme. To me, the talent of Burns, there's no reason why he shouldn't be getting 10 to 15 sacks a year.
Well, he's almost getting them.
Like,
Yeah,
I
you go
think
off of
that
almost, he would have had 25 last year. My man be getting the pressure, man. He be getting close, man.
So real quick, just to go back on the Amari Barno snap count, he played one snap last week. So he did play, and then Brandon Smith had 2 snaps.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
Brandon Smith had 17 special team snaps, and Barno had 4 special team snaps.
See, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Frankie Louvu goes out. That's when Brandon Smith should be coming in. We have no pass rush right now outside of Brian and Derek. So I feel like Amari Barno should be getting more snaps.
But don't worry, bro. Don't worry, bro.
I can see.
We about to see all them cats because this man's about to blitz.
Yeah, and I can see
all them cats.
I can see Brandon Smith being utilized as coming off the edge too. Brandon Smith is a blitzer. He got the speed, bro. Him and Barno, both of them dudes got speed.
He looked really good in the preseason too,
you
man. Brandon Smith looked good in the preseason.
But you're gonna sacrifice when you bring all that speed. You're gonna sacrifice the run game. It's gonna be ugly when dudes pop off for that 30.
We're 1-4. It don't even matter at this point. Blitz.
True. Good point.
I'm about to get a shirt.
You're right.
I might get a shirt to say. I might get a shirt to say on the front, "Fuck it," on the back, "Blitz." That's what it is.
I want to win though, man. I ain't never been about that tanking business, man. If we can win, I want to win. I mean, I get it, but I don't know.
Bro, we could beat the Rams on Sunday. They have not looked good.
Okay.
Like, because you never know. Like, I mean, I get it. Yeah, let's tank for a top QB, but I mean, yo, we should literally have 2 top 10 QBs on our roster right now. And I mean, look at them. They trash, like you never know who's going to be good. So, I mean, we could draft CJ Stroud or Bryce Young, but I mean, they could be bust too. So, I mean,
that all comes down to who develops you.
This,
Yep.
you know, they set Bryce Young down last Saturday. So
I want Levis, man. That's what I'm about, man.
man,
No, I'm
man,
good.
look.
I'm good on
Who?
Levis. I need
Or
Levis.
Anderson.
Will
I
Levis.
mean, not QB, but I'd love to get on Anderson.
Federer, he'll probably trade down anyway.
Man, look.
You might have to.
Imagine, man.
Nobody's talking about that.
See, I hate when he does that. He'd rather go for quantity over quality. He'll
No.
trade out of the top 50.
I need picks. We need picks. We need picks, man.
If Will Anderson is sitting there, you rather trade down and take a lesser player.
No. It's not about taking a lesser player because we don't listen. We don't know if any of the draft picks are going to pan out in the first round. We just going on the assumption of what their test scores may go. So if I have a chance, if I have the number 2 pick and then I can trade the number 2 pick and get like 3 or 4 more picks, I'm definitely going to do that because of the simple fact that I believe in my coach and stuff now, as opposed to we had before, that hey, I bring more people in the building, I build depth, I have more people to go and compete for the job. But if I had one person to come in to fill that slot, then it's gonna be crazy because I put all my eggs in one basket. I've never been a person like that. Like, I'd rather have multiple options at a position where I get the best value. And this league here, you have a person in the 6th round come out here and ball that that never got a first round grade. All that first round grade and stuff is like Deion Sanders said, it's a phone call. Hey, this person belonging in the first round. Pick them.
Has there been any recent examples of that actually working? It sounds good in theory, but
give me the blue chip player every time. Give me the Luke rather than trading down. Give me the
I think when you
but
see a guy like that,
generation of people though. Cam Newton.
Yeah, but when you see him. Yeah, but when you see him, you got to take him. That's the thing. You got to take him. And guys like Will Anderson's gonna ball. Like, let's make no mistake. If he's, and I said it during the mock draft Monday this morning. Like, if he's like, you gotta have a serious discussion. Like, if you really think you got the answer, or even like a short term answer at quarterback, you got to strongly consider Will Anderson there. Like, we got Corral
like
sitting
that
in the
dude
wings.
that went to Detroit. What was his name, man? He's real good. I forget his name. Was he a linebacker or defensive end?
Hutchinson?
Yeah, man.
Aiden Hutchinson. I mean, the Lions needed picks. They took Penei Sewell. They could have traded down, took a different offensive tackle.
Wilkes could just sign Josh Rosen again. I mean, he didn't just get cut.
Now we good on that.
No more bodies from that 2018 draft class. We're good.
Connection with Wilkes is right there.
I hope Wilkes does good, man. I hope he does.
Are you guys
I
interested?
think the deck is stacked against him. It's gonna be tough.
Yeah, if you got to be Walker next week, that's a tough one.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough, man.
I think he'll move the ball better than Baker, but I think that's he might throw a few picks.
He gonna move the ball and throw a pick in the red zone. I tell you that much.
Got Aaron Donald against Pat Elflein, right? We're looking at us in the face.
I do think Sam with a clean pocket will look better than Baker though, which sucks because I've been on the Baker train, man. But I don't know, man. He got them happy feet.
I want to hear what Wilkes.
Man, both of them guys suck, man.
You ain't lying, but
both of them guys suck. I mean, I feel you, man. But like, that's what we have at the moment, man. But as of right now, man, listen. Let me blast in my glory right now that Matt Rhule is gone. Hopefully, he's already back in Texas right now. So like tomorrow we can talk about who's gonna do what on the depth chart. But right now, let me cheers to Rhule gone, man.
Facts.
Hey,
thanks to that.
Hip hooray!
No more analytics.
But yeah, man. So I just put up another poll. I put up another poll for the defensive mind. Ken Dorsey he won by 1 point. With the offensive mind. Right now, D'Amico's killing it with 41 votes. Saying D'Amico Ryans is bodying the poll so far. So get in there.
Well,
you got Raheem Morris, Dan Quinn, D'Amico, and Steve Wilkes. I only got 4 options, so I just threw those guys. That's 4 I came up with.
D'Amico gonna dominate that one.
Yeah, he's 70% right now.
Yeah.
Who else should I add it? Who did I miss?
I can't think of anybody else right now because, like, the DCs really don't.
I'd rather have
Not
Flores,
Sean
I
Payton.
guess.
Nah, Sean Payton is gonna cost you to get Sean Payton.
Man, I don't even care, man. I don't like that fool, man. He's been a rival for years.
Hey,
What's the guy from the Chargers? The DC from the Chargers.
Lynn?
Is it
Yeah, I'm
Wynn?
not sure.
The Lynn. Yeah, Anthony Lynn,
Lynn.
isn't it?
Oh, Anthony Lynn. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Is he still?
Lynn's
Yeah,
with the
shit.
49ers. Lynn's with the 49ers. He's assistant.
Okay.
Yeah, Anthony Lynn, the RB coach over there, ain't he?
And he's assistant head coach. But I think I don't know if you guys disagree, but I think this next hire is probably this might be like the most important decision in team history. Um, because Marcus brought up the good points about Richardson kind of falling into the trap Tepper fell into. But we had relative stability. Like people take for granted how much success we had pre-Tepper in the Richardson era for a young franchise. I mean, yeah, we weren't never had back-to-back winning seasons, but we weren't too bad. With Tepper, I mean, I don't think Richardson's ever had a stretch this bad. So
Yeah, he did. 97
Really?
to 02. He
But
pretty much fell into
96
the same trap.
but 96 he had that NFC Championship game appearance.
Yep,
Tepper's
and then
had
everybody got old all at one time. But yeah, he did have some success.
Bro, it was
Yeah,
amazing to watch. It's amazing to go back to history and look at the deltas between how Jacksonville built their team versus how the Panthers built their team when they came into the league. Because Jacksonville actually had, people forget, Jacksonville had some some sustained success initially when they got to the league. And then, the bottom falls out like everything else at a point. But the Panthers, they had that one spot. They had that one time where they made it to the NFC Championship game. And then it was insane after that. They didn't get anything going until they rebuilt the team after Don was fired, Seifert was fired, and then Fox came in and closed it out. Got us to the Super Bowl.
But Richardson could at least said, "Hey, I have had success before." Tepper hasn't had any of that, and so to me, it's I don't know. This is a huge decision upcoming because, like we said, if he goes Quinn or hires just another,
Yo, can I ask you guys a question? Like, I get that Matt Rhule, he is bad, but and I'm not a truther. Like, I'm glad he's gone, but
you sounded like one already. But go ahead.
No, just hear me out. Like, how much of that do you think it gets? Like in the league, like good quarterbacks make bad coaches look good. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if Matt had a really good quarterback, and we were winning, you know what I'm trying to say, I feel like teams are as good as their quarterback, not their coach.
So let's wait. Let's use an example. Wait. No, Cal, hear me out. Hear me out, man. I'm gonna give you an example. Let's spit game because we want to go into the current NFL. I'm about things that happen in current events. Until this season, everybody thought that Geno Smith was one of the worst quarterbacks they've ever saw in their life. But then you ask the question, why was Geno Smith bad? The dude got drafted by the Jets. It was terrible. Jets was a terrible organization. They never really put pieces around him. He just wasn't good. Then he got his next opportunity to go to the Giants, and they booed that man. They booed that man because he got Eli benched, so to speak, and then have him going back to Eli. Then he had an incident that knocked him out of the league for a little while because he got injured. And then all of a sudden, Russell Wilson didn't want to be in Seattle, and Pete Carroll was like, all right, get going to Denver. In comes Geno Smith. And he out here playing the best football we've ever seen him play in his career. It's one of the best this season so far is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. But that's what coaching can do. That's what coaching can do.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, Jimmy G, he's not like a game changer, but he's good enough to manage, But,
and that's my point, right? So when people were like, yo, Jimmy G should come to Carolina, I'm like, well, what coaching staff? Why? He ain't that good. We all know that Kyle Shanahan is hot and is making him look good, and he ain't really that good. Kyle's scheme is making him look good.
Yeah, I guess kind of like Kingsbury, man. I feel like his true colors are starting to show too. I guess because Kyler kind of hides it a little bit, but he's not been playing his best ball neither. I don't know.
And look at the Giants too. Daboll has that team and Jones serviceable.
Yeah, that defense is nasty, man.
Look at what Steve McNair did for Jeff Fisher all those years.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It works both ways.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't think Belichick. I think he's great, but I don't think he's as good. Like, like he can win, but like I don't know. Brady. I mean, he did
Bruh.
get a stacked team around him, but
Bruh. Matt Castle in most years would have made the playoffs that year. He won 10 games with Matt Castle, bro.
And Brady's first
guy that didn't play any college. A guy that didn't even play in college.
And Dave, you can attest, Brady's first 3 Super Bowls, you're not winning without Richard Seymour, Rodney Harrison, Teddy Bruschi, Willie McGinnis. Like, let's be real.
Like we don't talk about that enough.
Yes.
We don't talk about that enough. Like Brady's first 3 championships was off the backs of that defense. Brady wasn't Brady till later in his career. But we don't talk
and
about
I think that comes from him just like staying in a system and just like growing as a football player. Like, and I feel like more quarterbacks, if they are given longer opportunities to succeed, like Brady was, they just get better over time. But like we cut bait with them too quick because like they're not Mahomes or Josh Allen. Like guys aren't given chances to grow. We want it now. You don't sit rookies anymore, and I think that's the big problem with teams and not having quarterbacks right now. I think that's the big issue. I think Jordan Love will probably end up being a really good quarterback because he's sitting behind one of the great.
All I'm going to say is this. Some of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, some haven't won a Super Bowl. A lot of them only got one. Aaron Rodgers. Some people think Aaron Rodgers is the greatest quarterback of all time. That man's been to 1 Super Bowl. He only has 1.
He's good, but he can't take it to the dance.
Drew Brees only has 1. Peyton should only have 1 too. If he didn't have that freaking elite ass defense of his in Denver, he should only have 1 too. Because he got benched during the season. Like people don't remember that. The dude couldn't throw the ball to save his life, and he got benched during the season. They was like, all right, we're gonna sit you down and bring you back for the playoffs.
Was it Richard Sherman that came out and said that, oh, you ever got his number? We know he can't throw it past 30 yards.
Yep.
He said, we got him. Don't worry about that. Next question.
Yeah. So, I mean,
I'm excited for the presser tomorrow. I'm excited to see what Steve Wilkes says. I'm excited about that.
I mean, he's going to keep it classy, but the fact that they got rid of Snow with the quickness, that let me know.
Yeah, maybe he'll be like, I'm just all about change again. I'd like to hear him say that and just leave it at that.
No, that's what happened. I mean, they're not going to have Snow in there, which is a Rhule, best friend, colleague, whatever, with Wilkes in there. No, Wilkes said, man, you got to go, man, because we done had our beef throughout the course of the season anyway. You're not about to be on my team and mess up my chance of being.
Yeah, he seems like a stubborn old guy, just like Matt was. Wanted it his way.
Yeah, look,
I'm ready for all the because it's
I'm
already
just glad Rhule gone, man. I'm just glad Rhule gone. I'm telling you, I'm gonna sleep good tonight. I'm wake up tomorrow. I'm gonna smile. I'm happy, man. I'm gonna wear my Panther stuff tomorrow to work.
I'm ready to hear all the terrible things that have happened during the era behind closed doors that we weren't privy to.
It's
what were
starting
you
to come
guys
out.
talking about with the media, social media stuff?
Yes, all the social media folks been coming out saying that he wanted to control everything. Like he didn't want certain things posted. Like he was real micromanaging them. And then one of the staffers came in and said, like, during his first year, he didn't want to see any of the staff folks like out throughout the building. Like he wanted them to work like behind the scenes, I guess. So they would have to work from 9 to 5, I guess, which is not typically their typical work hours. So they would have to work extra time just to pacify his need to not see people in the building. So it's crazy stuff flying around on Twitter, bro. Like, and I don't know if it's true or not. Again, don't take it to the bank as P&P said X, Y, and Z. I'm just reading y'all what I'm seeing, and I don't know if they're verified sources or not. So it's tough out here. People are coming out. They're gonna start coming out the woodworks.
I'm telling
players.
you, man, karma is undefeated, man. The word karma is undefeated.
Maybe
Never lost.
Luke will come back to the staff, man. That'd be awesome, man.
Even though that was
That's
funny
what
that
they're
Greg Olson replied saying, "Nah, man, we out here we out in the playoffs right now. Leave us
Playoffs with
alone."
the other kids.
Yeah, you know he'd be a
Right.
good linebackers coach, man.
Welcome back, sir.
Yeah, I'm trying to find these quotes.
So, question.
Charles Johnson said something about it. Like he say something about not liking Matt Rhule or something like that.
He said he had something to talk about later, but that didn't happen.
I haven't seen it.
I don't think he
Yeah.
said nothing yet on Twitter.
Must be a long thread he's about to make.
Yeah. Yep, I have not seen. I'm on his Twitter now. I haven't seen any responses since that last one. Somebody said we still waiting.
So question. So, what do you guys foresee the timeline being where we actually start seeing some of the impacts that Steve Wilkes has been put on the team right now? You think it's going to be?
I think it'll be immediately.
I think you need to manage expectations. Look, you gotta look who's playing, look who's not playing. Like, fam, JC Horn is hurt. Jeremy Chin, IR, Xavier Woods hurt, quarterback hurt. Like, come on. Like, let's not sit up here and say that Steve Wilkes' impact is going to be felt immediately when we got all these guys hurt. Luvu's down. Don't know when he's coming back. We got to relax.
I just think the defense itself will look different. I don't think we may not be better.
No, I agree.
But I just think the defense itself will look better. Different type of, maybe we'll see more man. Like, I mean, I don't know.
Well, if you out here blitzing, we better see more man.
No, I agree. I agree with that.
Healthy, man. Like, JC should be always shadowing the number one. Like, I mean, he was shutting Debo down Sunday, and then he got hurt.
With McAdoo as a coordinator, though, will any of this matter?
I mean, maybe Matt Rhule had something to do with like the type of calls that were coming through. Like,
I said that earlier.
Maybe Ben wasn't getting free range on the play call, and I mean, we won't know until Sunday.
Yeah, I said that earlier.
But that dude's a micromanager, man. He wants to manage everything, obviously, from what everybody says. So maybe we'll see it.
We saw that last year with Joe Brady when he was out here talking about what he wanted and all this other stuff. And bro, like this I didn't, and I said earlier, I don't think Ben McAdoo is like the greatest offensive coordinator in the world, but I wouldn't put it against that Matt Rhule's out here micromanaging the type of plays that he called. If he's the micromanager that everybody's talking that he was in the office, it wouldn't put it against that he's out here telling folks what to call.
I am going to miss the funny Matt Rhule tweets. I mean, I seen the funniest one yesterday. Someone said that he should just take his shirt off and run off the field like AB style.
Matt Rhule don't deserve to do that. Matt Rhule deserves to not get on the plane and fly back with the team, whatever, head back, man. Look, I'm telling you, man, like I'm so glad this guy is gone, man. I mean, I mean, it's gonna make a difference. Hell yeah. I think that I think to somebody's point they said earlier, you have like bad quarterbacks that really play for like good coaches, and I just think that once some of these guys start to kind of all believe in one and start playing for the coach, we'll see a difference in that. We'll see the difference in effort, because some games, some of the boys be like, man, look, man, I'm not gonna make that extra tackle. I'm not gonna make that extra block. I don't want to dive out for that ball right there or whatever. I think that we'll start to see some of that impact that happens, not this week, but maybe a couple weeks down the line. But at least, like I said again, cheers up that Matt Rhule.
Yeah, I like that. Did y'all see that play where C.J. Henderson just like didn't even try and tackle that dude Sunday? Man, he like didn't even try.
Or Juwan Jennings, yeah.
It was rough.
Into the turf.
I just want to see improvement by the Atlanta game. If we get like dusted by Atlanta, all my enthusiasm's done.
That's a fair enough expectation.
Them all blacks, man, they got to shine.
It's just PJ Walker. My thing is like Cam is still weeks away because he hasn't even practiced. Baker high ankle sprain. Like, are they going to trot out PJ or Jacob Eason? Like, I'm not trying to speculate and say we're going to bring in a quarterback, but I don't know how you're going to be competitive with
Baker was
either.
saying he was going to get a second opinion, though, I believe.
Yeah, and he's going to be limping. And I mean, he was double clutching and hesitant when he was healthy. We don't need him to be
Right.
80%. Like, and
Exactly.
so my
Yeah,
thing is,
same.
I have a hard time seeing us just. I don't know. We'll see if they're committed to trotting out Eason or PJ for the time being. That tells me that they're tanking, but not outright. But to me, I don't know. I'm interested to see. I just have a hard time believe that they really care about winning, and then they're going to trot them two out there. One of those two.
Yeah, people screaming for Cam already again.
What other
We
option is?
gotta let it go, man.
I agree.
Sheena pretty much said that that if he calls, they'll likely take him on.
And Cam's having too much fun going to dry homecomings at TSU. He got better things to do.
I
love to
did
see
watch
him
that
go
video.
somewhere, though.
I saw that video. I'm thinking to myself, he has to have family members that went to TSU. He did have family members that went to TSU because TSU homecoming ain't ours, ain't Jackson's. It's not even Central's. That joint ain't it. I'm being honest. Like I'm gonna keep it a buck. I wasn't impressed. I was not impressed.
And I also don't understand myself in that situation for a third year in a row.
Yep.
Yeah, well, that's the other problem too. People forget he pretty much said he was going to put himself in that type of situation again because he felt like the lack of an offseason wasn't going to give him a good opportunity to excel.
Like,
So
I
I
don't
don't.
nobody's bringing him
It
back
makes
at
no
this
sense for
point.
Cam to come back. It makes no sense for him to come back here. I don't want to see him like that. I don't want to see him have to deal with what he dealt with last year. It's fun. I know it's fun to watch, and it's cool. We love Cam, but that man, nah, he's good. He ain't saving his life.
I don't want to see him come back here, but I do think he does still have a lot of good ball left in him, and it's a shame that he may not ever get that chance.
He's Taysom Hill at best at this point.
I don't know about all that, man. You don't go from playing like you did in the Washington game and then just going to straight trash, man. It's schemes, it's blocking. I mean, it's he could. There ain't 32 quarterbacks in this league. It's better than him. No, they ain't. Carson Wentz
quarterback, maybe Baker, maybe.
He's better than Baker. Yeah.
He's better than Baker.
Facts.
He's better than about 10 of them dudes.
10? Okay.
Name one. He's better than Baker.
Wentz.
Matt Ryan.
Yeah, Matt Ryan.
Now, yeah.
I mean, honestly, you could even say Russell Wilson, but I think that's kind of just
more the coaching.
Yeah.
I'll give you Ryan and Wentz, though. Yeah, that's true.
Y'all saw the interview with Ron Rivera said.
Oh yeah.
Like, what's separating him from like being the top of the league? And the first thing he said was quarterback. He said like everybody in our division has a quarterback.
I mean, it's true though.
Like that.
Cooper Rush, no.
That ain't the only thing he said. There was more to the quote. There was more to the quote than him just saying quarterback.
He said he said he was playing good ball, or he played good ball, and he hadn't played good ball, and
he got to grow, is what he said. He said he wasn't. He's got to grow and get better as a quarterback. But compared to what the other quarterbacks in the division right now, that's the thing that's killing him. Because Wentz has had some good games, he had some bad ones. He had a good game last week. He just didn't do enough.
You don't have an MVP.
I mean, he's won with worse. Remember, he won that division with starting quarterbacks such as Dwayne Haskins and Taylor Heineke.
Heineke's better than what we got.
We won games with Cal Allen, man.
Was it 5 of them?
Cal Allen.
Cal Allen won as much games as the start. Cal Allen won more games as a starter than Sam Darnold did last year, than Teddy Bridgewater did the year before.
Will you take Cal Allen right now?
No. Well, no.
I'd rather have him than Darnold.
Nope.
Uh,
Nope.
Just as long as he doesn't get hit and he won't fumble it.
Nope. He was
Oh,
getting.
well, you know he fumbles like 3 times a game.
Cal Allen, but I will say this: Cal Allen did something that Baker Mayfield doesn't look like he's going to be able to do. Help get DJ Moore 1,000 yards receiving.
Yeah, that's the nail in the coffin for Baker right there.
Bro,
and that's
Baker's on pace for DJ Moore's on pace for less than 600 yards receiving, man.
That makes sense.
that's why I have a hard time believing they're just going to stay put at quarterback. I don't know what it's going to be, and I'm not going to say Cam, but like you literally aren't going to win another game with this level of quarterback play.
Even Sam got that dude to 1,000 yards receiving, bro.
Like, I don't think this dude is like as bad as he's been though. Like, he's never played ball this bad though. Like
Baker?
Like this bad. Like his QBR hasn't been this bad. Like over a stretch of games.
Bro, this dude, people gotta understand, man. Baker Mayfield was the number 1 overall pick on a team that continuously got like top 3 picks in the damn draft. They've drafted so much damn talent over the last couple years because how terrible their franchise was. They've drafted so much talent that now they actually have a good team because they've always been at the top of the damn draft, and they would trade, get more picks, blah, 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 right? So Baker Mayfield inherited a phenomenal roster, and I don't think we talk about it enough.
I mean, I agree. So, I don't think he's good, but I'm just saying, like, he's never played this bad, is what I'm saying.
He's playing this bad because he's not that good.
I mean, I agree.
That good. Roster.
Huh?
He didn't win a game before he got there, didn't he?
Yeah. How many games did they win his rookie year? And they didn't have anybody.
Bro,
and I'm not defending him. I'm just saying, like, I feel like he could play better ball than he's playing. It ain't going to get us nowhere. But, I mean, I'm just saying, like, it's been bad. Like, bad.
Baker's only going to look – yeah.
Huh?
Sorry. Yeah, what I was saying, he's only going to look good if he has what he had that one playoff year. Outstanding.
Yeah.
Line and elite run game so that he can game manage. And that's why, to me, I never thought he was going to succeed here because everything has to be perfect just for him to look serviceable.
Which is what we said.
I'm just saying there's a reason why we thought he was a little better than Sam, and right now he doesn't look a little better.
No, it's called being desperate. That's what it was.
No,
he was a
dude,
desperate.
Fam, just like folks thought that Jimmy Garoppolo was going to help this team. Man, if that shit would have happened, it would have been a disaster.
Yeah,
a disaster.
Bro. We were desperate. It's nobody, like it wouldn't have mattered. We would have got Malik Willis. We would have made him look like trash. No matter who we brought in here, they would have been bad because of our coaching. Period.
I think what it boils down to, from my opinion, with regards to that is, like you said, Rashad, there's the coaching aspect, but then there's also about the fact that you got to remember, people thought Sam Darnold was going to be good here too.
Yep.
You know, like some people thought, well, because he was with the Jets, that's why he was bad. Not thinking that,
so you're saying
too.
Those guys that would, like Jimmy, if he came here, he would be bad because of coaching. So, like, they would look like Baker and Sam do now.
Yeah. Bro, Jimmy G has fucking Kyle Shanahan, bro.
Oh, I mean, I agree. He's good.
That really makes a difference. Like when you're able to coach up a quarterback and scheme him to be good, that's a thing.
So Kyle,
his individual talent ain't coming here.
I got a question. Before this season, what did you think of Daniel Jones?
Bottom 10.
I mean, he's all right. I mean, backup. I mean, I still think he's a backup. But yeah, I definitely get what you're saying. I mean, I get what you're saying. He still makes those mistakes. Man. But yeah, I mean, I agree.
There were folks who thought that Blaine Gabbert should have been the pick instead of Cam.
But they also played a Daniel Jones, like the things that he's good at. Like, for instance, like Baker's good out of the play action. He's not the type of quarterback that's going to sit in the pocket and pick you apart. Like, you roll him out, you throw him on the right. Like, they haven't been doing any of that stuff. Yes, he's made some bad throws.
So why do you think that's the case?
Coaching, 100%.
Okay.
Part of being a good coach, you play to your player's strengths.
Yeah,
and
but
you
see,
have
that's
to-
what I'm
Put
saying.
guys in
Like,
the
what
best
do you
position to
like? What if
succeed.
McAdoo's hands were tied at some point when it come to like Matt Rule wanted to do it this way? I mean, I'm just talking out loud.
We'll
I
see.
mean, that,
It's just I think
I
he's
think
limited
that
either way.
yeah, I think that we will see. You'll know pretty quickly because if the offense comes out and looks completely different. Yo, Matt Rule had his hand in it, and I wouldn't put anything past it. I wouldn't put anything past Matt Rule saying, "Nah, bro, you can't. You ain't running it this way. I want you to do this, and so you got to do this because I'm the man." Like he had full power, so you got to listen to that man. So we're gonna find out whether it was McAdoo or whether it was Matt Rule or whether his hands
It's
are
just
being tied.
hard.
We're gonna find out real quick.
It's just hard. I think that he's limited either way with the quarterback play. Yeah, but yeah, I agree.
Nah, he about to
Just
let
keep running
PJ
the
loose.
ball.
Nah, he about to let PJ off the chains, bro. PJ about to.
Air it out.
Hey man, he
PJ
may
about to slang that
pull a
shit, bro.
Gino up in here, man.
Hey yo, PJ about to slang that shit. Pause.
Yo,
I'm
PJ
a
about to
half
be-
glass full kind of guy, man.
I might need to trade for DJ in fantasy.
Yo, PJ.
PJ
Yo,
what?
PJ.
PJ
It's one.
PJ Walker?
PJ. One thing PJ gonna do, bro. PJ gonna throw the football deep, bro.
Yo, he is, yo.
He gonna throw the football deep. That's what he does, yo. He's gonna extend plays and he's gonna throw the football and he gonna have a 20-yard loss too. 20-yard sack, loss for loss. That's gonna happen. He's gonna throw a red zone interception. That's gonna happen too. But dudes is gonna have some numbers, bro. Like DJ is gonna eat because he gonna get a long 40-yard pass.
It's a shame
That's
Matt
gonna happen.
Corral's hurt, man. It's a shame.
That's true,
Matt
man.
Corral
This could have
would've-
been Matt's time, bro.
I mean,
This
I'm not
could've been
saying he's the
No way.
future, but it would have been nice to see what he could do.
Yes, Wade. If Baker's hurt, bro, we would have saw Matt Corral right now.
They would
Especially
ruin him,
with
just like they did Will Greer.
guys that aren't working at McDonald's now protecting him.
Yeah, the jury's out on whether or not Corral's going to be a guy, but it might be a moot point if we don't have a good enough record to avoid the number 1 overall pick. Because then we're going to hire a new coach and we're going to draft a new quarterback. That's just the reality of the fact. Matt Corral's about to
And
get Josh
another
Rosen.
quarterback regardless.
Nah, I don't know. That ain't definitive. If they actually, it
think so.
depends. It depends on a lot of factors. If Scott Fitterer is still the GM, depending on who they decide to bring in here as the head coach, they might be willing to roll with Matt Corral next year
So you're
because
gonna
you can
bet
still
your
boom him up.
a 3rd-round pick. This isn't a 1st-round pick we're talking about.
How many
But there's
games?
some folks who thought he was going to go in the first. There were some folks who had a
So,
first-round grade on the
didn't.
guy, but that doesn't matter. There were some folks who had a first-round grade on the guy.
Okay.
Question: how many games does Wilkes
Oh man.
need to win in order to be considered for the new head coaching
Yeah,
job
you just
next year? What do you think?
7. I said 7.
All of them.
No way. That ain't happening.
See,
He's got to have a winning record. If he goes 7-5, I think he gets the opportunity to be the head coach.
I don't like it.
You don't like it, man.
I don't like the situation that Wilkes is put in because
Yeah, it's
he's got to start his
not
first
good.
game. Jay Walker probably, like, say he's got next year, and he's got to start his first game with PJ Walker. Half his defense is already hurt. It's just an uphill battle.
Undefeated PJ Walker, Jared.
Never
Undefeated,
lost.
never lost.
One of those games had a shutout. The second game had 2 touchdowns on 2 touches.
Well, the first game, and we forget that the first game he threw like how many interceptions he threw in the red zone? 2.
2.
Yep. Still pitched a shutout. So it's just like when people bring up Jay Walker never lost, I hate it. I hate it as a stat anywhere.
It's funny because the 2 games that PJ Walker won, that's more than Matt Rule's won when he had 17 or more points. That's just always, that's going to be forever hilarious to me. I understand why you say it. I understand why you're frustrated with it, especially with the caveats.
I'm not a fan of PJ Walker so I wanted him off the team when Matt Rhule got fired. He was the first player I posted about after Matt Rhule got fired. I said that two touchdowns, 8 INTs, that ain't flying no more. Next coach getting you out of here.
So does Jacob Eason get called up off the practice squad?
Yeah, he's gonna have to.
He's gonna have to.
We don't have nobody else. There's no backup.
Who else is gonna play? Who else is gonna start for us?
We gonna call Ben Barkley back?
Oh God.
So
I remember
might have
that.
to call Ryan Fitzpatrick in a minute. Get him up out of it. Get him back.
Get him out. Get him off of Amazon.
Yeah.
He ain't leaving Amazon. We get off him enough money than what Amazon's probably paying that man.
Tell Jake DeLone out the booth.
He'll probably pay better than all of them. You keep it a buck. Bring Jake back.
Yeah. So FYI, I did put out the poll for D'Amico Ryans won the defensive poll. I put up the new poll with Ken Dorsey and D'Amico. Ken Dorsey's winning 60% to 40%.
I just think it's time for another coach.
Same. Me too.
If we get Ryans, I wouldn't be mad. And by the way, a guy that you probably could have considered for the defensive vote was Gerard Mayo. But I mean, he's a sleeper guy for me.
I only got four slots. So.
He's in New England. He should be the defensive coordinator, but he's not.
Is Oakland winning right now? Is Las Vegas Raiders winning right now?
I would say you said Oakland, bro. I was gonna say Oakland.
Oh, now I was like, who are you talking about? They're winning 20-10. Yep.
Okay.
Real quick. Somebody posted on Twitter. So no one at the NFL office thought scheduling Raiders versus Chiefs on Indigenous Peoples Day was a bad idea.
Oh my God.
You got to read the room. Read the room, man.
Read the room, goodness.
NFL. And the Raiders,
but they never. The
and then had the Raiders win. Come on, man. Come on, man. We gotta do better. Optics matter.
So, are you guys?
Hey guys, man, get out of here, man. Hope you have a great rest of your week, man. Y'all take care.
You too.
All right, T-West, we about to shut it down a little bit.
I was just going real quick. Are you guys not worried about Dorsey only having 1 year of play calling experience? I feel like I would like to see a little more, but that's just me. I don't know.
Nah, I'm with it because number one, he's been around the game long enough, and he's up there in Buffalo, soaking up all that good energy and good football.
That winning energy.
The winning energy.
It might be Super Bowl winning energy at this rate because I mean this gonna be. Oh my God.
Coming from a competent
I wouldn't be mad at it. No concerns there for me.
It's about time that we benefit off of those guys.
You ain't kidding.
They owe us. They owe us big time.
They owe us mad reparations, bro.
They owe us facts. Mad reparations. Yo, they owe us a whole
dog.
Bro, they owe us.
They took our GM, our defensive coordinator.
That's why why we suck so bad. Like we had all this talent in house, and it's all gone to the same location.
Yeah, the only thing we got is we fleeced them for Kelvin with the 3rd round pick.
And then what we use that 3rd round
pick? Then, like, oh, you got us, but never again.
Yep, never again.
Yo.
That's why we can't trade McCaffrey to him.
And then dominated Kevon Seymour in that preseason game. I'll never forget that shit.
Oh, my goodness.
Dominated.
What was that, 2017 we traded him? Or 18? I'm trying to think of what we used to pick on.
It was halfway through the...
It was halfway through the year 17, but then 28 dominated us in that preseason game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's terrible.
Good old 30.
But yeah, here we are, man. No more Matt Rhule. Matt Rhule's over with. That era is done. We're gonna Will Smith and Men in Black that joint. Never happened. Yeah. So
he created a bar, though. He created a bar.
What you mean?
Being the worst coach of franchise history, man. That's a damn bar to try to reach or go below.
Yeah,
because that's where he's at, man. That is his legacy. That is what he is.
5th worst all time through a coach's first 2 years.
That is what he is, yo.
You said what, Jared?
5th worst record all time.
Ooh.
Coach's first 2
Oh,
years.
God.
And Joe Judge was probably like 6th or 7th.
Yeah, Joe Judge wasn't too much better. He got to be close.
Fam.
It's been a long 2
But all right.
years.
But all right, any final thoughts before we get up out of here? I gotta go to work tomorrow, and this is our 3rd live stream of the day, so it's about time to shut the thing down.
Appreciate it. Glad to come on. It's been a long 2 years and 5 games. Felt like an eternity. Felt like I've aged as a fan. And Tepper, I swear to God, if I get put through anything like this again, I'm with shot. I'm out.
Hey, look.
Bro, we already coming up with ideas if you bring up a college coach, bro.
Hire a college coach and see what happens. I'm out of here, bro. Unless it's Deion Sanders. That's the one.
I will be furious if we hire Deion Sanders.
Hey, that Patreon ain't gonna hit the next month if we hire a college coach. I'm gonna be honest.
Don't worry, we have to find new Patreon members. I think our whole audience is gonna change based on the next show we're gonna do.
No, I'm just gonna have to tap into like the Cowboys fan base or something. Man. I'll get it back. Eagles looking real good right now. I have to go to the Eagles. Eagles, Giants. When did I go the NFC East team? They got big money over there. But anyway, anything else, Dave?
I'm good, man. I'm good. At this point, I'm just hoping that Tepper figures this thing out. If he decides to move on from Fitterer after this, so be it. Or whatever the hell he decides to do, I'm rolling. As long as you don't hire a college coach. Otherwise, I'm going to be doing more FCS shows because I damn sure ain't sitting through this shit. Yeah,
like Jay Simp says, maybe one day we'll look back on this and we'll laugh about it when we hoisting the Lombardi at some point. Hopefully, man, we just got to make the right decisions. And listen, we can't. I know it sucks, and I say this all the time. It's tougher. It's hard. It's harder it's easier said than done, right? You gotta go with the bad to celebrate the good, right? We can't. Every fan base goes through this. And so it was just our turn. We had our times at the top, and now we just getting humble real good. Right?
Yo, be humble.
I'm not trying to stay here too long like the Lions or Browns. That's it.
Right, exactly.
It's
got to come back around to the homies. It's got to come back around to the good guys at some point. I hope. But yeah, it sucks right now.
Yeah, man. If we
get it right,
like we're sitting here. It's been the last time we had a playoff win was 2015.
Obama's still president.
Yeah.
Shit.
Obama was still the president. But I mean, I already did enough history lessons on Twitter about perspective. I mean, let's it's been 7 years since we won a playoff game, but it's been longer for other franchises, way longer. So
true.
It's just a matter of, huh?
You're not Detroit.
We're not Detroit. Cleveland's only had one playoff win in 30 years. So has Detroit. Like, we're not those guys. Like, you know what I'm saying? But it doesn't make it okay. I put up this crazy stat, because we were talking about how many playoffs wins we've had, and I was like, well, since 2000, shit. There's only 12 teams that have more playoff wins than us. So it's like it should be better, absolutely, but we got to also understand NFL. So there's a lot of parity in NFL, So it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah, pause.
Yeah, absolute pause.
Man. And double down on it too, man. God, dog. Come on, Dave.
Yeah.
Shit.
Listen, man. Gutter, you must leave your mind. Okay. So what it boils down to is that it's just not easy to win in this league. And it doesn't give Rhule a pass. It just takes time. It does take time. But sometimes when the shit's over. And this was one of those moments. We knew this. I knew this shit was not going to work. I just knew. And everybody was trying to convince me. And I'm like, I've seen this shit before, man. And y'all should have too. But all
We all
right.
saw it coming, man.
We all
All right,
saw
let's
it.
shut this thing down, man. Make sure you hit that like button on the way out, subscribe, notification bell, all that good stuff, man. We calling it a day. Thanks for joining us, y'all. We out.
Appreciate
Peace,
it.
guys.